friends. This is just gonna be me talking over my own gameplay, talking about the current state of balance of the meta and of the progression system, and the direction that I think the devs wanna take the game in, which I really hope they don't. Originally, it was a 40 minutes long video, but I realized nobody wanna watch me brag about it for so long. I'm gonna try to make it as cohesive and short as possible. So let me start with discussing the meta first. The meta game of the stadium, obviously. First of all, let me remark that this is a PvP game and everybody wants to win. And like every other PvP game, it has its own meta, the most effective tactic available. And to be honest, the battles, Kingdom Rush battles, is not that deep of a game. There are realistically only three ways to win, like design wise, the way it's being conceived by the game designers, which are kill the boss that comes out at wave 6, or stall the boss, praying that your enemy wouldn't be able neither stall him or kill him, or have him lose to like normal enemies before wave 6 or even after. They are variously effective, meaning some are more, some are less, depending on the method. For example, in the beta, it was super easy to kill the boss the moment he comes out of the gates, with like the Edred, Mighty Tower, and I don't know, Arcane Wizards or something. Was like super easy to do. Now it's not so much unless you have like super high level cards, probably like level 12, 13 and higher. You probably won't be able to kill the boss at all, unless this is a very specific boss that is like resistant to, let's say, magic damage, and you've got a lot of sniper towers out there, you've got ice field, stuff like that, so you'll be able to stall them under there for a long time. You also need mighty tower for that, I think, stuff like that. To stall the boss is much easier. Well, it takes more effort to do because you have to, put down your barracks, where you have to upgrade them at times, sell them, put them up again, stuff like that. And the most difficult way to win, I think, is to make the enemy lose to the normal enemies. Your opponent lose to the normal enemies because, well, nobody is that bad. Well, at least at stadium, like 500 and more points, it's really hard to lose to that because you're essentially losing to randomness. And because, to be honest, Kingdom Hearts battles lacks mechanics, just stuff that enemies do, that characters do, that towers do. Therefore, the discrepancy, the disparity between the most effective and the least effective is getting even wider. This gap. For example, why would I ever, if the enemy is just a sponge, a health sponge, why would I want something that does less damage overall, right? That doesn't do anything special and wouldn't amount to more damage, does nothing unique, does nothing useful. Why would I choose that, right? Why would I choose, I don't know, a common mage or an epic arcane wither if he has nothing or arcane wither? They fulfill the same role, they make up the same deck, they fill the same slot in this deck. I mean, and the enemies are not that unique themselves as well. You've got essentially enemies. I mean, enemies essentially differ in amount of health and in the resistance that they have and in the damage they do. That's about it. The more damage you have, the easier it is to deal with any kind of enemy, and that's about it. That's all you need to know about how to win in Kingdom Hearts battles. Of course, there are some more unique, more kind of unique strategies to win, like freeze the entire enemy field with like towers, with glacial druid, with polymorph, well, hay tower, whatever it's called, with blizzard, or just to kill the enemy hero and the enemy units with sniper towers, which is honestly getting more and more popular even after the nerfs. And I'm not happy about that because this is a very retarded playstyle. It disables you, the receiver of them sniper shots, from using your hero, and it's very fucking boring. Yeah, but I'm not gonna deny that this is a very effective playstyle. Only after, of course, you get them at higher stars, because unless you have, and this is we're kind of slipping into this progression problem. I think they're connected. Obviously, the balance problem and the progression problem, because even if there is a way to fit in an underwhelming tower into your deck, you probably thought of some cool strategy to use it. You have an idea on how to implement this in a particular win condition. You still need to do damage, right? It's not like you get them all max level at the first wave, right? You still need to kill enemies, and that's how you get gold to enable your own strategy. And if your towers are under level, you're not gonna be able to do shit. You're just gonna lose at the first sign of danger, at the first inconvenience, be it like shield bandits or a thunderbird or a dragon or something like beefy that you have to punch through with pure damage. And if you don't have that, you're gonna lose. So, for example, the musketeers, the sniper tower is also in that bulk of towers that you need to have at high level, because unless you do, even if you were to put up multiple of them for the sniper shot, their armor piercing ability wouldn't be able to punch through all of them hundreds of enemies that come out every single time, and you just have to use Tesla for the AoE physical damage, because musketeers don't do enough. There is a point where musketeers do just enough damage, plus your hero, plus polymorph, plus sabotage, whatever. They do just enough damage for you to be able to utilize this strategy. They manage just fine with the enemies that come down your way. You're able to get gold, you're able to upgrade them, and they do their dirty work. But unless you don't, unless you have them like level 7, level 8, even level 9, you're gonna have a real hard time punching through them beefy enemies, punching through ogres, punching through yetis. What if the musketeers are aggro at like 50,000 health bandit shields? What are you gonna do? If your musketeers at like level 8, they do 20 to 250 damage a hit, and that's with armor piercing. You're just not gonna do anything with that. And killing an enemy hero doesn't score you the victory, right? If the opponent is able to kill the waves just with their towers and not with their hero, unlike you, who is not going to be able to do anything with both your towers and your heroes, you're still going to lose, even if you disable your opponent's heroes essentially. And by the way, it's not guaranteed every time. Like, you either need to get super lucky with the one shot, or you need to have multiple of them put up, and you're like taking the slots from other towers that would be able to do more damage to the enemies that come down your lane. And kind of getting into that point of progression system, it's really fucking hard to get cards and gold for them. It's very hard, and there's absolutely no way for you to experiment that. How do I know that my deck that I have in my head is going to be effective at a stadium level where I play? I have no idea of testing that. It's just theory crafting at that point. And why would I invest gold into something that I'm not convinced at? So me setting up a choke point with, I don't know, the Edre, the Sorcerer, and I don't know, the Barbarians, or whatever. How do I know if that works? And it probably wouldn't, unless you have all of them at like level 15. It probably just wouldn't work. But I have no way of confirming that. There is no tournament mode like, Clash Royale had back in the day. There is no tournament mode for me to try out a deck at an equal level. No, Onslaught is not that. Onslaught is more of a race, where you just pick the highest damaging towers. The best hero for that would probably be Allura, Ice Cold, like whatever. No Ingvar, no Vesper. If you have Allura, if you have Beerset, if you have Ice Cold, you don't need any other hero. So that's about the balance. The balance sucks. You have no way of testing if your deck is any effective for you to level it. If you have it under leveled, you're gonna lose 100% of the time. Therefore, you don't play like that. Nobody wants to lose, and therefore there is no deck diversity essentially ever. It's not that much of a problem for you if your opponent is not playing a different kind of deck, because you don't interact with him that much. But it's a problem for you personally if you just stuck to a single deck for like a month and months on end, because it's the strongest one. Nothing is getting any buffs, and if they are, you're not able to level them up because due to the lack of gold and the cards themselves, unless of course you pay your way with real money, which is another point of poor progression. Currently, there are 3 packs available to buy. Ice Cold, which is probably the strongest hero in the game. You can buy 2 copies, making him level 8. You could buy, what is it, like 4? I think it's 4 copies of, no, it's 6. It's actually 6 copies of Bear Sad, which should get them to level 9. And you can also buy the Blazing Gem for yourself. That one is not that as impressive as those two, but essentially for 70 something dollars, you're able to buy 2 of the strongest heroes in the game. What is, I don't know, level 10 Vesper gonna do to level 8 compared to level 8 Ice Cold? He's not gonna do shit, let me tell you. He's not gonna do shit. And that's a legitimate pay-to-win strategy that the Kingdom Rush devs, that the Ironhide, decided to take their game in. That's the direction they want to take the game in, and that is incredibly frustrating for somebody who was free to play in essentially every single game they've ever played, for me, and for probably many of you who just don't have $50 to spare, but still want to win. This is super mega frustrating to face off against a level 9 bear set, and you know how this person got it. You do know how this person got it. It's not just that he gets super lucky. I have no problem with being lucky, with people being lucky, but with people paying their way through the progression, paying their way over my skill. This is problematic for me. This is very frustrating. Then again, there is no problem with the person who does this, because he's just using the most effective method available to win the game. He just wants to win just like I do. And I'm not blaming the people who spend money on the game. I'm blaming Ironhide for allowing it to happen so quickly and in this way. Let me give you a brief course of history. A similar game like Clash Royale, back in the day when the legendaries came out, not only they were super unique in the things that they do, unlike like Bearshot and Ice Cold, for example, compared to other heroes, they were also incredibly hard to pull. People had to spend thousands of dollars to pull at least 1 copy of them, and they were really hard to level, therefore, as well. And it wasn't fair by any chance. It wasn't fair unless you had thousands of dollars. You weren't able to get the card at all. But still, at least they were so rare, they were so scarce in the meta that you're not seeing them almost anywhere. Even at the highest level, it wasn't so much of an issue. But nowadays, on every single game, is just Bearset, 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 Bearset. You occasionally see Ice Cold. And if I see any other hero, man, I'm eating good. I'm eating him. That's a free win, essentially. If I see them Agents, if I see them Eloras, if I see them, I don't know, people use Geralt from time to time, weirdly. When I see that, I'm eating good. That's essentially a free W for me. And I'm sad that this has to be like that, because there is no deck diversity unless you're at the highest level, and even then I have no way to prove that there is at the highest level. There is no hero diversity, because even at the highest level, I mean, towers are not equal amongst themselves, no matter the level. And I imagine an Arcane Wizard would be leagues above Sorcerer, even at max level. Leagues above it. I don't really need to see it to confirm it, you know? And I doubt anybody would disprove me who has them at the highest level. No tower diversity, no spell diversity too, because what can you do with spells? And it comes down to my first point, that the game is unbalanced because of the lack of mechanics. What can you even do to the enemy? You can stall them, which includes like slowing them, blocking them, stunning them, teleporting them, stuff like that. That's pretty much all you can do. And all of them are just a form of crowd control. Or you can kill him. Just lower his health pool to 0 so he disappears and stops being a problem. Therefore, the spells that do more damage are gonna be the better spells. You have only 3 slots for that. Why would you ever use something that does less damage? For example, I know a legendary spell comes out, a legendary spell that, like, the green ray from what I think it was Vengeance. What did we have there? I think in Vengeance, and it does the same thing that the Rain of Fire or the Thunderstrike do, except he does more damage. Except that. Why would I ever use any of those 2 spells if I have the third one? Right, no reason. Why would I use any other spell over Polymorph? Because it essentially does direct damage, right? It halves the enemy's health, which is essentially direct damage for a set amount of time, for what is like 8 seconds. You're just able to kill them, and there is no problem. Enemy is no more a problem to you. Why would I use, I don't know, a Rain of Fire over this? Absolutely no reason. As far as stalling spells go, why would I use Cursed Vines over, I don't know, Ice Field? They don't do enough damage for it to matter, and they just slow for much less than the Ice Field does. Or even, why would I use Stun? Why would I use, Ice Field over a Stun? If stun just stops enemies from moving completely, including flying enemies, every single enemy. There are no immune enemies. There are crowd control immune. Why would I use reinforcements? Yeah, talk about that shit. Why would I use reinforcements over, then again, a stun? What do they do that the stun does not? It's not like they block for it's not like they block a lot of damage. They die in like 1 or 2 hits. It's not enough. It's not like they do significant amount of damage. Where am I using this? You see where I'm going with this? Boosters are, I think, the best thing, balance-wise, about the game, because it's really hard to deal with almost any kind of enemy in this game. So if you're able to catch your opponent off guard with like armadillos and shit, or you just have your opponent just doesn't have enough space to put up enough archers or Teslas, for example, or barbarians to deal with Thunderbird, he's getting fucked. Let me tell you. If you randomly get it at level 3. So I think boosters are fine the way they are. I would love to see more of them. I think that the change that they made, that everybody has the same kind of boosters at level 1, is both a bad and a good thing. It's bad because, well, it limits the amount of options you can have. And it also, but it's a good thing because, well, at least you know what's coming. But it's a bad thing because you know what's coming. The randomness of this process kind of dissipates. Nobody's choosing ghosts and blizzard over shield bandits or something. Nobody's doing that. Therefore, boosters are alright for now. The spell diversity is completely non-existent. The hero diversity is completely non-existent. The tower diversity is more or less there, but I mean, why would you ever use royal archers over... Let me put it like that. There is one competitively viable archer tower, being the Musketeers. There is no reason to ever use any other archer tower currently over that one. There is only one competitively viable barrack tower, being the Barbarians. There is absolutely no reason to ever use any other barrack tower currently in the game. Mages have it a bit better, and they have 3 competitively viable towers, being Arcane Wither, Archmage, and the Blazing Gem, the newest addition to the mage roster. And they are close enough in damage to be considered of their to be considered because of their unique abilities, being either Death Ray or Armor Piercing with Arcane Wither, just high DPS essentially, or Dissipate with Archmage, or Insta-kill, the most retarded thing known to man, from the Blazing Gem. And the artillery has its best. You can every other tower except for the dwarf is well, usable to an extent. They're obviously vary in strength and in effectiveness, but they're close enough in damage so that you'd be considerable of their abilities. And that's the point of deck diversity, tower diversity that I'm trying to make. You think you have enough magic damage, but not enough physical damage. I know Archmage is currently in the meta. Hey, don't use Glacial Druid, use Dwarf. Use Dwarven Artillery if you wanna fuck with the enemy's towers. You feel like your Archer tower is underleveled, you have trouble dealing with flying enemies, or you just need high physical damage help, use Tesla. I know you wanna fuck with the enemy hero, let's say melee characters, or not melee, just walking characters get into the meta. Perhaps battle mecha gets viability, and they're close enough in their damage output so you could count on their abilities and make up a deck accordingly. And that's how I think it should be with every other category, with every other tower, with every other spell, with every other hero. They should be somewhat comparable in damage. Obviously, they're not equal. Legendary should be more powerful, but they shouldn't be able to be obtained with real life money so easily. It's simply not fair. It inflates the economy badly. It completely destroys the progression for any player that is not spending real money on the game. So that's what I advise you to do. I'd ask you not to spend on those boosters, no matter how good of a deal it would seem, because it would incentivize Ironhide to make more of those decisions. And I promise you, if you like this game, do not do that, because I promise you it would fuck the game up completely. And you don't want to be playing a pay-to-win game. Today you have enough money to spend on your favorite game, tomorrow you don't. You don't want to be in a situation where you would really, really want to, but let's say prices go up. You have less income. Some other shit happens. And because of we people made them think that this is a good idea to implement, that this is a good monetization policy, they're gonna just keep pumping that more and more and more. We shouldn't do that. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about. The meta is very stale. I really hope the new balance patch shakes it up. Enemies need to get a bit weaker. Some of our spells need to get stronger. Please don't take polymorph away from me. But I think actually it should get nerfed. I'm just kidding. Some other heroes that are not legendaries, need to get some viability, need to get some love. Please do something about them. Not for me, because I would never use like fucking Illyria, even if she's even 20% worse than Ice Cold, for example. I would never use her, even if she won't be that bad. But some free-to-play players need to have, and new players, by the way, need to have some way of progressing. Free-to-play new players need a way of progressing. It's really hard to get past certain trophies through certain arenas. It's really hard to get to stadium at this current pace. So please consider this. Make some changes. Do not implement more greedy, grabby monetization. Give us more content. Where is my Magnus? Hey, Ironhide, where's my Magnus? I was waiting for him. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what they shouldn't do to keep you playing, engaged. Leave a like, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.